Good morning. Jack Benny once said, it's all mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. In Judaism, we would say it's all about mind over heart. In this week's Torah portion, it talks about the artisan, the craftsman, the team of designers who fashioned all the vessels in the holy tabernacle, as well as the garments of the priest and the Kohen Gadol, the high priest. And the chief artisan was Bitzalel. And the Torah repeatedly uses an interesting phrase and term. It says, Chol Chacham Leiv. Every wise-hearted person shall come and contribute and design and fashion all the vessels of the tabernacle. And the question is, what does it mean to be a wise-hearted person? We usually think of someone who's wise-minded, because the mind is where wisdom is, intellect, as opposed to the heart, which is the seat of emotions. And we all know that the mind and the heart are very different. The mind is logical, it's cold, it's calculated, it's rational, it's strategic. And the heart is full of emotions and passion, and sometimes the heart is anything but logical. And sometimes the mind and the heart are in conflict with each other. The heart says, I want this, and the mind says, no, it's not good for me. We deal with that struggle every single day. So what does the Torah mean when the Torah says that those who develop and contribute and design all the artifacts of the tabernacle shall be wise-hearted people? The Torah is teaching us a very important lesson in life. You see, there are a lot of people who are very knowledgeable, very wise, very learned. They have a lot of academics, a lot of degrees. But someone once said, no one cares how much you know unless they know how much you care. What the world needs more than knowledge and wisdom is wisdom of the heart. The mind that's connected to a compassionate, generous, loving heart. Because then the mind is not used for only selfish gain, or even worse than that, manipulative and even evil designs. But the mind is used to guide the heart to do more good in this world, to be more generous, loving, and kind. And therefore the Torah says those who devoted themselves generously to the temple were wise-hearted individuals. That's what God was seeking. People who showed talent, wisdom, knowledge, how to craft, how to design, but generated and utilized that knowledge for the kindness of the heart to build a beautiful tabernacle for Hashem. And that is why in Judaism, every day we put on our tefillin, because it's about the mind governing and controlling the dictates of the heart. There's a rabbi in California, his name is Rabbi Ed Feinstein. And he tells a story that his elderly father had a stroke a number of years ago, and he was paralyzed on half of his body, and he would go to the hospital every night to visit his father, and his father was very depressed. And he seemed to have lost his desire, his motivation to live even. And he tried every way to cheer his father up, but his father was in a depression. One day he comes to visit his father after work, and he sees his father's in a good mood, he's cheerful. Couldn't believe this change of attitude, he was so pleased. And as he sat with his father, he was thinking maybe they gave him meds, changed his regimen. Suddenly his father looks at his watch and says, oh, it's 8 o'clock, I need to go. And his son says, where are you going? You're in the hospital. He says, no, I have to go visit someone down the hall. And he proceeds to explain to his son that they brought in a young man who was on a motorcycle accident on his bike. And he came in badly burnt and injured and broken bones. And he became very depressed and lost his will to live. And he even refuses to take his medication. And so he said, every morning and every night when they come around with the meds, I go into his room and I talk to him and I lift his spirits and I encourage him and I motivate him. And his father starts to wheel his wheelchair down the hall as his son follows him and sees him go into the room of this young man to lift his spirits and give him encouragement. And then Rabbi Feinstein said, I realized what it was that changed my father's mood and disposition, because he wasn't focused on himself anymore. He was focused on helping others. And so the Torah says the real wisdom in life is wise-heartedness. When we use our mind to guide our heart to do good. The most powerful seat of the human being is the emotions. The greatest source, the greatest weapon of mass destruction is the human heart. All evil stems and originates from the heart. And all goodness and all blessing comes from the heart as well. Have a wonderful day.